The the Deputy President of South Africa, Kgalema Motlanthe, entering the FNB Stadium for the celebrations.
And we saw a moment ago, Peter, also former President Thabo Mbeki has also arrived. I think in just a moment the cameras will pan there now as we're still following Mr. Kgalema Motlanthe and his partner there. But we do know Thabo Mbeki just a moment ago shaking hands there with the Deputy President. The former President Thabo Mbeki has made an appearance there at the FNB Stadium.
And these are just some of many dignitaries that you're going to be seeing today during the course of this commemoration, this memorial service for former President Tata Mandela. And I can be certain that every single one of these people here will have a story or a memory or something that has inspired them through their own leaderships that they've taken from Tata Madiba.
He was always considered someone who was a mentor, someone who groomed a lot of leaders that we're seeing today. One such man is this gentleman, and that is Thabo Mbeki, his wife there, Zanele, also walking towards the elevator there as they go into the building, the FNB Stadium. We know President Thabo Mbeki, their former president, was groomed by Nelson Mandela. He did, of course, take over from him as president.
Yes, indeed. He was the first deputy president of the country when Tata Madiba was president. And that man that you're seeing there is Advocate George Bizos, and he's walking in. I think that's Zelda Lechansi holding his hand. Advocate George Bizos, part of the legal team at the famous Rivonia trial, and has been a lifelong friend of Tata Madiba, and always willing to shed a tear when he talks about Madiba, especially when he got ill. I think it was just a bit too much for him. And next to him, of course, his long-time personal assistant, Zelda Lechansi, walking in together.
And the advocate, you just mentioned George Bizos, working side by side, and he's had a lot to say about Madiba, the lawyer, as well, which is something that is not often spoken about, but he spoke about the presence of Dr. Nelson Mandela as he walked into a courtroom. And he says there is very, very little people who could actually resist or deny the presence of this man when he came in and he had put an argument before the judge, and he had questioned people, and many women in particular is one thing that was mentioned, that white women would be gasped, when they were asked these questions with such confidence, as was the case when Madiba did so. And here's another friend of Dr. Nelson Mandela, Mr. Ahmed Kathrada, who shared some of the stories that they experienced there in a prison there in Robben Island. Mr. Kathrada saying that Madiba had such a love for hair gel. There was a particular brand, I think Pantene it was, that he said he gave the wardens quite a tough time when that particular brand was discontinued. Just some of the memories that they shared together. Mr. Ahmed Kathrada, struggle icon and veteran there, having just come into the FNB Stadium.
And right behind them, I think that was the Premier of the Northwest, Thandimodise, arriving as well. So the dignitaries slowly coming in one by one as the cars pull up to this VIP entrance, and it really is a who's who of both the continent and the world arriving here to bid farewell to Tata Madiba. And we'll continue to share with you these images as the special broadcast unfolds throughout the course of the day, where the memorial service is taking place out there at FNB Stadium. And as I said, more dignitaries are coming through, and we'll try and identify as many as we can, but we're talking about 91 heads of state that will possibly be in the country between today and Sunday, with the final state funeral in Punu that will be taking place there.
And as we take a look at the various officials and dignitaries and VIPs who are making a grand entrance there at the FNB Stadium, we must also just mention that we have spotted some of the Mandela family members who are indeed there. Some of the daughters we've seen also on the stage and making sure that everything is in place. They have started to arrive there at the moment. It is exactly 10 o'clock on the dot. 11 o'clock is when we expect the proceedings to begin. The official program being presided over by Cyril Ramaphosa, as well as They will be the program directors, which we expect the program, of course, to begin at around 11 o'clock. It was scheduled to wrap up at 3 o'clock, but Peter, I keep on saying this when I mention the time. It's that people are there to share in the spirit of togetherness, in reconciliation, in memory of Dr. Nelson Mandela. I doubt anybody will be looking at the time. I mean, people started singing and dancing from about 5, 6 o'clock this morning. And I remember just sharing with one of our colleagues that, aren't they going to get tired come 11 o'clock? And she said to me, Ayanda, I highly doubt it. Because at this point, the spirit takes over the body. And the spirit is jovial. The spirit is remembering Madiba. Your fatigue will be the last thing on your mind.
No, this is